Welcome everybody to Samudra Shakti Online. I'm so glad that you are with us this evening. Samudra Shakti Online is brought to you by a planning team, and we're both volunteers. It's Maduri Martin and myself, Lisa Long. I want to welcome Becky Ventura, who's with us this evening. She is helping behind the scenes run Samudra Shakti Online for this presentation. And she also helped in a huge way by helping with the Anusara invocation and bringing it to life as sheet music for our school. And if you just Google Anusara invocation sheet music, it'll pop up. We have Robin Christ with us, and I'm so stoked. Robin's journey as a seeker on the path of yoga began early in life and was brought into the light of clarity when she met and received Diksha from her beloved guru in 1975. After spending many years diving deeply into the meditational aspect of the yogic practices, she discovered Anusara yoga and was astonished at the spiritual depth of this elegant and refined asana practice. In 2008, after walking into her very first Anusara class in California, she decided on the spot that it would be her life's mission to share with others this beautiful meditational body prayer practice, as well as the powerful tantric philosophy that underlies it. So she signed up for her training. Since then, she's devoted herself to deepening her studies and personal practice. As well, she leads Anusara yoga teacher trainings as her seva and legacy. She holds immersions and teacher trainings once a year, at least, at Riff's Yoga Studio in San Diego, California. Her approach to her own teaching and to the training of teachers has always been deeply steeped in the spiritual and philosophical traditions of yoga. And she is dedicated to cultivating and encouraging and continuing growth towards spiritual awakening in all of her students. She passionately is guiding her students, as well as herself, towards strengthening and refining the vessel so that all of us may courageously and wholeheartedly hold the light and be of service to all beings. So with that, I'm stopping the share and I'm going to hand this over to Robin. Open your mic, Robin, and welcome to Samudra Shakti Online. Glad that you're here with us.
Hello, everyone. Greetings, my friends. Friends I recognize and friends I have yet to meet. And I'm so blessed to be here. I want to thank you, Lisa and Maduri, for inviting me to chat with you all. We're going to take a deep dive into the divine feminine together this evening. Very apt that we are celebrating Mother's Day. I didn't plan it that way. The universe came through for us. And I'd like to take us on a voyage of discovery into the wisdom of the Dasha Mahavidyas, or the 10 wisdom goddesses in our Tantric tradition. Now, I was introduced to these beautiful energies in our Samavesha, I believe it was 2016, when Sally Kempton gave us a talk. And she reawakened in me a passion for deity yoga, as she does with her writings. And I've cultivated it and really dove in deeper in the past couple of years, because I love stories. I love the symbolism and the iconography of these deities, and particularly their transmissions, the wisdom they have to offer us. So I'd like us to begin just briefly opening to grace together, wherever you are, taking your seat. I love the Hridaya Mudra, the left palm on the heart and the right palm on top, but you can bring your hands to your thighs, palms up, so that we may open ourselves to receive. And taking a moment to root down through the four corners of the pelvis and balancing the crown of the head over the base, tuning in to the space of the heart, remembering and recognizing that therein dwells your own essence nature, the truth of who you are, the unborn, the undying spirit. And as you tune into that space, inhale and allow the light of spirit to fill you from base to crown with its buoyant and bright light. And then as you exhale, soften over that light, allowing yourself to become more receptive, more open to receive. I'd like to invite us to open our journey together with the Pranava Om. We'll chant it once together with the understanding that Om means yes. It is a radical affirmation of life, of love, and of spirit. So bringing your hands to Anjali, palm to palm now, we offer a sweet Om together, wherever you are in your space. Inhaling to Om. Om. Bowing with deep reverence to the light within you, the divine revealing itself to you as you, in gratitude. And let's begin. Okay, here we are. Let's begin. The Dasha Mahavidya, the journey from Kali to Kalamitra. The Mahavidyas, the 10 wisdom goddesses in Anusara Yoga's Tantric tradition. This is what we call deity yoga. So the question is, what or who are the deities? They are literally the shining ones, and there are 3 aspects of them that we can tap into their wisdom. One in the universal patterns that surround us in nature, one being aspects of the individual psyche on a mythic level. We could call this archetypical psychology or sacred psychology, and as powerful beings or personages, we could say, with whom we can establish an intimate relationship through practice. Each one carries a distinct quality that either resonates with us on a deep level or that we wish to cultivate within us. So the Mahavidyas, Maha, as most of us know, means great, Vidya, wisdom. They are known as a group of goddesses and have been established since the 10th century, tantric as opposed to Vedic in nature. All 10 are different expressions of the Mahadevi, the Great Mother, the Adi Parashakti, and all are forms of her lila or her play. So we have to understand them as one. What I have found most intriguing and what I want to share with you all tonight is their clear structure, their krama or their lineage, and the relationships between them. So the question is, how can we gain their wisdom? What do they have to teach us? Each goddess offers us a unique iconography, which is symbolic imagery. Each has an origin story or a myth, a mantra, which is their true form, their sonic form. A yantra, their form as a mystical diagram, used as an aid in meditation, and their wisdom transmission, what they have to offer us. So here they are, all together. You get a sense of them as one here. It's kind of this imagery here kind of blends them into one being. And I have to mention before I start that this imagery I have culled from different sources, and I have honored the artists at the end of the presentation that I have been able to find. Many of these images are traditional, and I've also collected some contemporary images because it really, I like to give a full picture and see how it has been, their wisdom has been filtered through artists that are working artists today. So I've come across 5 origin stories for these goddesses. I'm gonna tell us one that really resonates with me. So the origin story here is that Shiva, the source energy, is living with Shakti as Kali on Mount Kailash. He grows restless over eons and decides to leave. Kali asks, where he's going, and he answers, wherever I wish. She does not reply, and he begins to wander off. But everywhere he goes, Kali appears in one of the 10 forms of the wisdom goddesses, blocking his exit. Seeing he has nowhere to go, he loses his desire to leave her and gains the knowledge, the vidya, that the goddess pervades the cosmos. And wherever one goes, she is there. She pervades all of reality. So we'll begin. We'll begin our journey with Kali herself. I have some imagery up here that you can take a look at. Her mantra, her sonic form, is Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Kali comes from Kala, meaning time. Kali is time as our mother and our origin. We are born into time. Kali is the first Mahavidya because the process of creation begins with time. And what is time? The force that governs the universe, the force of change. Kali, and this is beautiful, Kali as time invites us to enter the timeless. Just as our essence nature is spirit, the unborn, the undying truth of who we are, the essence nature of time is eternity, that which does not change. And just as pure spirit is concealed within us, timelessness is concealed within time. As timelessness, Kali is the eternal now. And as the Great Mother, she fiercely compels us, her children, to awaken into unmanifest time, the eternity that holds our perfection and bliss and our true freedom. So here we have her mystic diagram, her yantra. I'll have one for each of these goddesses, and an image where we can look at her iconography. So you can see the blue skin, which evokes the darkness of the womb of creation. She's got a severed head and a cleaver in 2 of her hands. You'll see this one very often in the imagery. Her intention here is to free us from the false self and the conditioned mind in a very powerful way. And she's got the Abhaya Mudra and the Varada Mudra in her hands. The fingers pointing up, all is well, no fear, even though she has this terrifying visage. And the fingers down, I will bestow blessings. I will constantly bestow blessings upon you. She's got the garland of the severed heads. You'll see that again in many of these goddesses. And she is unique in that she has a skirt made of severed forearms. Now, don't be scared, because what this means is that these are the remnants of her devotees who, through their yogic practices, have experienced her grace and have achieved liberation from form and the limitations of time. You see, these are her trophies. These are her children. She dances on Shiva, that which underlies, of course, supported by the source. And you can see the look of bliss on his face. He adores her. The mythic story comes from the Devi Mahatmya, a Shakta philosophical text from the 6th century. It involves the battles that the goddess Durga has with the forces of the darkness. One of them being an Asura, or a negative energy named Raktavija. Raktavija means blood seed. And he has been given a boon in that each time he is wounded and a drop of blood hits the earth, another Raktavija appears. So here's symbolic of our own battle with the mind, particularly when we're trying to still it, that thought train that keeps multiplying and multiplying upon itself. And so what happens is that Durga becomes very frustrated, and she concentrates her spiritual energy into her third eye, and she projects herself out as Kali. I like to tell my students that Kali is Durga on steroids. She is a very powerful form of the warrior goddess. And what she does is she sticks out her lolling tongue and she catches the drops of blood before they hit the earth. And Durga is able to defeat this particular negative Asura energy, the darkness. Her wisdom transmission. Kali also means death. So Kali as time is both creation and dissolution. To create, we must first destroy. She is the life-death cycle personified. And just as time, as we mentioned, is a portal into timelessness, death is the doorway to deathlessness. So therefore, Kali is considered the most compassionate of all the mothers because she longs for the love that is limitless and unfathomable for our freedom from time and death. She's pure love, and she's that pure love that exists at the heart of life. For the truth is, as we know deep within us, that our soul, which is made of love, does not die, but the body, love, is eternal. Thank you, Mother. The second Mahavidya, Tara. Her sonic form, Om Hrim Strim Hum Pat. Noticing here the bija sound of Hrim, which is the Devi Pranava. You will see this again. It is equivalent of Om for the divine feminine. Tara, the deliverer, the savior, from the Sanskrit root meaning to take across, as to take across a river, the ocean, or a difficult situation. The Tara also means star, the guiding light, the beacon light. She closely resembles, as you can see, Mother Kali, the power of time, and she's often called Kalika or Bhadra Kali. Another name for her is Samsara Tarini, she who carries us across the ocean of samsara, as we know to be the life-death life cycle. Tara is the mother who carries us across the ever-changing cycles of time. She delivers us or saves us from drowning in the limitations of the time-bound self. She takes us across the turbulent waves of our own thought currents that keep us from experiencing our innate freedom. And she's also the power of the sound current, the divine word. She's known as Shabda Shakti, the creative vibration that is underlying the energy of time, Kali. This is the divine word or the mantra, the pranava mantra, Om. Om is called Tara or Taraka, the deliverer. And like a boat, Om takes us across the ocean of our ignorance, our forgetfulness, samsara. Iconography, she's blue, like her sister Kali. You can see the similarities. If Kali is unmanifested time, Tara is unmanifested sound. I hope you can all see that she has a pair of scissors in one of her hands. I've never seen that before, but she is cutting away our attachments. She's got a blue lotus flower, the unfolding of the awakening heart, and she has a cleaver and a kapala, or a skull-headed bowl, again, severing the ego self and catching the remnants in the bowl. And like her sister Kali, she dances on Shiva, that which underlies, supported by her source. Her mythic story comes from a beautiful story. Some of you may know it. It's very long and very detailed. I'm not going to go into all of it, but it's called the Samudra Manthan. And what happens in this story is that Shri has disappeared from the material world, all that is good, all that is auspicious, and the asuras, or the negative forces, and the devas, the angels of light, your own self, your own shadow and light self, come together to churn the ocean, the Milky Sea, the ocean of consciousness, so that perhaps Shri will arise, which she ultimately does. And what also arises are many good things. The wish-granting cow, the tree of life, the sun, the moon, all these, the Amrit, the pot of immortal nectar. But what also arises is a noxious poison, the halahala. So Shiva, to save us from that toxic energy, and you know when that arises within yourself, right? He drinks it and it turns his throat blue. That's why it's called Nilakanta, the blue-throated one. And Tara, as you can see, takes him and suckles him at her breast to ease the pain. So that is she is that fiercely nourishing mother, and you can see there's a tenderness to her terrible. Her wisdom transmission. Tara lifts us to our inner self, our essence nature, through the power of the primordial sound that reveals all things. She effortlessly carries us over and beyond the obstacles to our freedom from the false self. She's the one who saves. Thank you, Mother. Third goddess, Tripura Sundari, Om Hrim Shrim Tripura Sundaryai Namaha. She's the beauty of the three worlds. Her beauty is not the beauty of outer form. We know that beauty is impermanent and subject to the conditioned mind. Hers is a divine beauty, the beauty that is eternal and unconditional, and that beauty is merely reflected on external form. Sundari's beauty is the light of consciousness shining through an object and not the object itself. It is the light of our own pure awareness, our own unchanging essence nature that we experience as beauty and not the ever-changing form. And that beauty reveals itself in the timeless present, in the now, where we rest in awareness free of conditioned thought. The word Tripura means the three cities, the three worlds, and the three bodies through which we experience them: physical, astral, and causal, matter, energy, and thought. She's also the three states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, the three lights, fire, sun, and moon, and the three main nadis in the energy body: the Ida, the Pingala, and the Sushumna. Iconography, a beautiful, beautiful representation here at Ekabumi Ellis. And of course, her yantra. So you can see she is the color of the rising sun. She has a crescent moon in her hair. Now this is beautiful. It is said that she is seated in the moon chambers of the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled lotus at the crown, and pours forth beauty and bliss into creation as soma, or the immortal nectar. She's got a sugarcane bow and 5 flower-tipped arrows in her other hands. Of course, these are the 5 senses, and it is said that when one experiences their own awakening, their own self-realization, the senses become instruments of bliss. So therefore, she has the goad and the noose in her other hands, and she says, go, enjoy, but don't go too far. She pulls us back. She's seated on a marvelous throne here. This says so much. She's seated on a throne that consists of the 5 forms of Shiva: Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Maheshwara, Sadashiva. These are the Panchakriyas: creation, sustenance, dissolution, concealment, revelation. And she is seated upon them, so you can see the primacy of the feminine here. Her origin comes from the Lalita Sahasranama, a Shakta philosophical text from the 12th century. It tells of her battle with Bandasura, another negative force or dark force, as well as extolling her beauty and her virtues and her wisdom. Tripura Sundari is the most beautiful and blissful of all of the goddesses. She is divine love, beauty, and bliss as desire. Therefore, she's the Isha Shakti. Here we go, attitude. She pours her essence, her beauty and bliss through us into form. And when bliss manifests in form, it expresses itself as beauty. This is her wisdom. The 4th goddess, Bhuvaneshwari. Om Hrim Bhuvaneshwariyai Namaha. Bhuvaneshwari is the queen of the universe. Ishvari, queen. Bhuvana, universe, or the realm of being. She is the divine mother of all the worlds. And it is said that the entire universe is her body, and all beings her ornaments. She's also known as the cosmic womb, as space. In her, all light is born. And in the macrocosm, the great mother Bhuvaneshwari creates space in order to give birth to all things. And in the microcosm, she creates space to give birth to the divine nature within us. Therefore, she is the goddess of space. She's the matrix in which all creatures come into being, and she is the field in which all things grow. Her yantra. And again, the beauty of this imagery, her iconography, very similar to Sundari's, as you can see. She's the color of the rising sun, her crescent moon on her head, and her 4 arms. Again, the noose, the goad, and the abaya and the varada mudras. So her story, I love this story. is from the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, 9th century text. What happens in this story is that the Tridevas, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, are having a very heated debate over which one is the most powerful, creation, sustenance, or dissolution. And they are wreaking havoc in the cosmos. So the Great Mother, she flies in, literally flies in on a jeweled chariot, scoops them up, takes them over the Sea of Nectar to the Devi Loka, where she has this marvelous palace called the Chinnamasta. She takes them to a chamber, she opens up the door, and there, 3 Shaktis, very quietly and with no argument, doing what needs to be done. Creation, sustenance, and dissolution. And of course, they're humbled. They bow at her feet, and they have a vision in her great toenail of millions of universes, each one with its own Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And so there, they gain the Vidya, they gain the wisdom of this Great Mother. Her wisdom transmission. Bhuvaneshwari is the power of infinite vastness. She is the void in its creative form. Her essence, infinity, just as Kali's is eternity. She's literally the cosmos personified as the goddess. And in that way, she's the giver of knowledge as cosmic vision. Through spiritual practice, our vision and understanding expands, and so does the space holding them. Therefore, Bhuvaneshwari represents the Yana Shakti, alignment. She's the bestower of wisdom. And in our own body, in the microcosm, it is said that the entire universe is contained within the space of the heart. This is the seat of the Divine Mother as Bhuvaneshwari. Which leads us to Tripura Bhairavi. Om Hrim Bhairavi Kala Hrim Swaha. She is the terrible one, the terrifying. This is the powerful and awesome energetic form of the goddess. She represents the transforming power of heat. See, she's surrounded by flames into radiance. Tapas to tejas. Tapas, of course, the fire of spiritual practice, concentrated spiritual discipline. It is said that without tapas, nothing can be gained on the spiritual path. And we come to know that the highest tapas is to offer one's thoughts and emotions to the flame of awareness. And in this way, we honor her. She's Tripura as fire, lightning, and the sun, Agni, Vidyut, and Surya. She's therefore said to possess the radiance of 1,000 rising suns. She is a blazing light. Her iconography. She wears brilliant red. And again, the garland of severed heads. She has 4 hands that are doubled the mudras. She's got 2 abhayas and she's got 2 viradas. You see, no fear. I bestow blessings. She's the personification of heat and fire, representing the victory of light. Therefore, she needs no weapons. She needs no weapons. Her wisdom transmission. She's experienced as terrifying because her heat, her fire burns away all limitations and illusions of the ego self. She's an expression of the Kriya Shakti, the heat of action, the goddess of tapas. Her wrath is like that of a mother towards whatever may threaten her children. It is directed towards anything that may impede our spiritual growth. Now, she lives at the root, mirroring her sister Tripura Sundari at the crown. So the path of yoga is from the fierce form of the goddess at the root to the blissful form of the goddess at the crown. Tapas to tejas. Here we go. Took me a long time to bring this one into public class, but I love her. Chinnamasta. Om Hum Chinnamasta Ye Namo Namaha, the one with the severed head. She's perhaps the most frightening image of the goddess, and yet you may have the sidebar covering up her face, but her face is not frightening. It is a picture of beatitude and bliss. Her severed head is not dead, but more alive. And her graphic image is presenting to us, the joy of transcending the body and not the pain of losing it. Only when separated from its limited form as body consciousness does awareness, our essence nature attain its real life as freedom. So she's showing us that consciousness is not limited to the body. She's also called Vajra Chani, she who is effulgent with Vajra. She is the lightning bolt, a bolt of lightning, you see. And as that bolt, she is the Kundalini energy that cuts through the granthis, the knots, which prevent the movement of energy up the central channel, up the Sushumna Nadi. So she is therefore the free flow of the ascending Kundalini Shakti from root to crown. Let's talk about her. As you can see, she's depicted as drinking the blood flowing upward through her own central channel. There's a sword in one of her hands representing Viveka or discrimination. Her eyes are shining. I hope you can see that. And her hair is spread out like lightning. She is feeding her yogini attendants, Dakini on the left, the moon, Varnani on the right, the sun. Dakini drinks the life force from the left stream. Varnani drinks from the right. Therefore, Dakini and Varnani represent the Ida and the Pingala nadis, while Chinnamasta, the Sushumna, or the central channel. She's often depicted as dancing on Kama and his consort Rati in a sexual embrace. There are two meanings here: the classical meaning, symbolizing the conquering of the sexual energies, and the tantric meaning, the utilization of it. Her origin story, the sweet beloved of Shiva, Parvati, goes to bathe in a river one day with her two attendants whom she considers her daughters. And they say to her, "Mother, we are hungry. We're hungry." And without a thought, she severs her own head, becomes Chinnamasta, feeds them the life force, streaming upward through her central channel. And when they are satiated, she returns to the sweet form of poverty. Transmission, her wisdom. Chinnamasta invites us to dissolve our minds into pure awareness. Freed from the limitations of the mind, consciousness is free to awaken to its true nature. And she does this very dramatically by severing her own head. So in this way, the imagery has a stronger impact on the psyche, you see. Its symbolism moves from the theoretical into the visceral. It impacts us at the core of our being. Also, once the veil of the mind is lifted, the subtle body energies are activated and released, and then can move upward like lightning to the higher centers. Hence, this loving mother shows us we need not fear losing our heads or our minds. I hope to lose mine someday. Dhumavati. Dum dum. Dhumavati, swaha. Dhuma means smoke. Dhumavati, the smoky one. She is the grandmother spirit, the elder, the great teacher. She is knowledge through experience. As Kali, she is literally Kali, as an old woman, the wise crone, from the word corona, which means the crown or the halo of wisdom. I'm proud to be a crone. She is the aspect of the timelessness of Kali that is beyond the process of time. She's the shunya, the great void, stillness, emptiness. She's the smoky one that obscures, but in hiding one thing, she reveals another. You see, Dhumavati obscures what is evident, the known, in order to reveal the hidden and the profound, the mystical. Her yantra here, her iconography. Of course, she is portrayed as the crone. She's disheveled, she's got matted hair, a wrinkled face, dirty clothes. She's surrounded by crows, and she rides a chariot with nothing to move it forward. This represents the stillness of her void state. In one hand, she's got Chin Mudra, the mudra of wisdom, and in the other, the winnowing basket, discrimination, as wisdom, discerning the inner essence from the outer illusion. Her transmission. Dhumavati is yoga nidra. She is yogic sleep. She's the bliss of the emptiness of the void. It's a void that is completely free of duality, It is pure and perfect full awareness as emptiness. She's the cessation of the movements of the mind. Thus, she is ultimately stillness itself. And she invites us, thank you, Mother, to withdraw from the known, to stop seeking anything in the realm of time, to rest in the stillness in the arms of the great grandmother spirit. Bagalamukhi. Om Hlim Bagalamukhi Devyai Hlim Pat. Bagalamukhi is another fierce form of the goddess. She's similar to Chinnamasta. Both have a lightning-like force. And we will see why in a moment. She's dressed entirely in yellow clothing, adorned with yellow ornaments and yellow flowers. It's said that in mythic time, in order to save the universe from a very potent and destructive storm, she arose from the lake of turmeric, Harida Sarovar, hence the yellow color. With her left hand, she catches the tongue of her enemy, the ego, and in her right hand, she holds a mace ready to strike his head. This is the Gada, and it represents power and strength. So her power then is Stapana, or the stopping of action. This is symbolic of the silencing of the mind. She offers us inner mastery of our own thoughts and energies and the power to stop them at will. She therefore gives us the power to overcome our negative thoughts and emotions that are born of the egoic self. Her wisdom. Through our yogic practices, we come to realize, when that day comes, that we are not the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, the events, the situations we identify ourselves with. We are not what we thought we were, our ego identity. And this realization stuns the mind into complete and utter silence. Bhagala gives us the power to witness ourselves with detached awareness and stop ourselves in mid-motion to observe the state of the mind. She is thus the stunning radiance that silences the egoic self so that the true self can shine forth, and her power can be accessed by the power of the mother Dhumavati's stillness. Stillness leads us to inner silence, and that is pure awareness itself, our essence nature. Two more. We're almost to the end. Matangi. Om Hrim Klim Hum, Tangyai Pat Swaha, wild, creative, passionate, mystic expression. She is my Ishtadevata. She's the wild sister to the staid and proper Saraswati. She rules the extraordinary. She lives on the edge. She's an outcast who goes against the norms of society. She's a rebel. But like her sister, she also carries the Veena and is considered to be the manifest form of the divine inner music. So like Saraswati, she flows, the saras, like the rivers to the sea, in the form of the nada or the shabad, the vibratory sound that flows in the subtle channels of the nadis of the energy body. She is the form of Saraswati that is directed towards inner knowledge, hidden, mystical, as opposed to the outer knowledge, the scripture. She's beautiful. She's glowing emerald green skin. She has a crescent moon on her crown, which symbolizes the rebirth of form. She has the Veena in her hand, of course, the neck of the Veena, the musical instrument representing the central channel. The strings, the nadis. She's got the bloodied cleaver, the severing of the false self. She's got a skull. I don't know if you can see it, but it's saying, this is all that's left when your ego is gone. This is the remnant of the ego. And then she says, beyond that, all is well. She has parrots surrounding her, representing the sacred word as the Shabad, the sound current manifested in the material realm as song. Her transmission. She personifies all the beauty and passion and power of raw, primal nature. Her name means she who runs through the forest. She is joy itself, wild, playful, creative, ecstatically expressive. She's divine bliss, and she is the manifestation of the creative word as energy and delight. She expresses the word not as ordinary speech. Hers is a song. It is the deepest expression of the wild and passionate heart. She's the mystical and the magical embodied. And finally, Kalamatmika. Om Shrim Shrim Kalamatmika Shrim Swaha. Kamala, she whose nature is the lotus, she is essentially Lakshmi, as one of the Mahavidyas, the form of Lakshmi that is specifically related to the practice of yoga. She's very similar to Tripura Sundari, both embody bliss and beauty, but the difference is this: if Sundari invites us to withdraw into the inner world and experience beauty and bliss of our own essence nature, Kamala causes us, she's causal to create beauty in the outer world. So therefore she personifies outer beauty as an unfolding of the divine into the world of matter. She invites us to transcend in order to pervade. She is golden in color, seated on a lotus, holding two lotuses, purity and beauty, and representing the unfolding or the awakening. She's offering blessings and fearlessness with the Varada and Abhaya mudras. And she's often depicted as being showered with Ganges water from the trunks of elephants surrounding her. Her transmission. Kamala relates to the earth tattva, which is the maximum manifestation of the divine into matter. Hers is the pervasion of spiritual bliss into the human experience, the fragrance of beauty manifest. And she asks us to seek divine beauty in all things. She's the last of the Mahavidyas, so she embodies the full unfoldment of the power of the goddess into the material realm, where we can witness her presence in all things as divinity itself. And when we experience the beauty of our own selves unfolding as Satchit Ananda, infinite, eternal existence, consciousness, and bliss, we then become a channel for the flow of that divinity into creation as a blessing energy to all beings. And so the lineage is complete, and it becomes a circle ever flowing moment to moment to moment. Just want to offer you my sources here now. They will be available to you on the recording. I don't have a lot of time, but I want to thank them all. These are wonderful texts. Now, if I can get us back to full screen, I just want to end here with a little bit of integration. So how does this relate to us? What does this mean? Here's how I see it. This is me. This is my thought process, which means, it's meaningless, but it's my lila. But I see Kali and Tara as opening to grace. They bring us into the timeless present. They offer us the sweet realization, or the possibility of the realization of our essence nature. And they hand us off to Tripura at the crown attitude, pouring us into the heart, Bhuvaneshwari, the cosmic vision, the knowingness, and then descending into form, Tripura Bhairavi, the heat. So if this at our heart is the Yana Shakti, the base, we have the Kriya Shakti, the action. And then central channel, muscular energy, Chinnamasta, moving inward. Right? I often think of this as the Shaktipat. We have ascended into form, and then the spiritual practices over eons or over moments takes us up the central channel into what? Not anything mystical and magical and visions. It brings us to Dhumavati and Bagalamukhi, stillness, silence, inner spiral, expanding spiral into the back body, into that mysterious unknown. And then we're moved. We have to express. There's no question here. So what happens then? Outer spiral. Matangi, you see? Our own individual expression, our own passionate song that must be heard, informed by that journey, that wisdom. And finally, Kamala, the radiance, the blessing energy of organic energy, radiating outward in service to all beings. So I don't know if that resonates, but that's what came to me after integrating pretty deeply for about 1.5 years now. And, you know, take it. It's an offering to you. But that journey to me is the primary teaching of these goddesses, the lineage, the krama, the sequence. And so we apply these principles, you know, pose to pose, life situation to life situation, lifetime to lifetime, you see, and it's the same journey. And they just offer it so lovingly as the tender mothers. I believe I have a few minutes left, Lisa, so if we can take a moment here to integrate these teachings by finding our seat once again, rooting down into the earth with the power of the tapas, the power of the heat, eyes lightly closed and balancing the crown over the base, growing roots from Tripura's heat into the core of the earth. And then taking the attention to the Dwadashanta point above the crown, imagining there a radiant full moon, Tripura Sundari. Inhaling and allowing the moon to set through the awareness centers, the third eye, the upper palate to the throat, the base of the heart, the core of the pelvis, and to the depths of the earth beneath. And as we exhale, energy rising up like lightning up the central channel to return to the moon, where it once again on the inhale sets to the earth. This is the transcending energy. This is the liberative current. But we are moved. We are moved to express. We are moved to pervade into creation. So establishing your energy in the central channel now. On your inhale, move inward from all sides of the body, the sides of the torso, the front body, the back body, moving inward to that river of power. And on the exhale, letting the energy ripple out in concentric circles, like a pebble dropped in the pond, moving beyond the boundaries of your skin and into your space and out into creation as a blessing energy, a gift through you, the channel, to all sentient beings, a gift of love in benefit and in service to all beings. And with that, hands to heart, reverence to the divine, your own mother within you, all around you, and manifesting as you. A final Om together. Inhaling. Blessings to you all, in gratitude for my Kalya Mitras, my spiritual friends, with whom I link arms and walk the path to my awakening. You are all a blessing to me. Thank you. Om.